Hello everyone, and welcome back to Vitally Veg. On today's episode, we are going to do a beefless seitan. This seitan is so good that I'm going to show you guys how to make Philly cheesesteaks out of it. This will be your go-to beefless seitan recipe from now on, I promise. Let's get started. So first I have a large mixing bowl, and I'm going to add 2 cups of Vital wheat gluten. Right, next I have a tablespoon of MSG or mushroom powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika. Next I'm going to add in half a teaspoon of salt, and then a half teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Alright, I'm going to whisk that until everything is well combined, and we're going to set that aside. Alright, I have a medium-sized mixing bowl here, and I'm going to add a 15-ounce can of black beans with the aquafaba, do not drain that. 3 tablespoons of neutral oil, I'm using canola. Then I have a tablespoon of soy sauce, and I have a half a teaspoon of liquid smoke. I'm using mesquite. If you have a blender, you can do this in a blender. I have an immersion blender, so I had to do it this way, but go ahead and blend that on high until it looks like that and is smooth. Moving on, I have a 3 1/4 cup of broth heating up right now. I'm gonna go ahead and put the wet ingredients into the dry like so. We want that broth hot that we're going to add so that you can make the seitan way easier. It makes it much easier to handle. I'm using better than bouillon because it tastes beefy to me, so anything that tastes beefless or has a beefy flavor will be perfect for this. And we're just going to want to mix that until it comes together and forms a ball. And make sure you scrape down the sides so that you don't miss anything. And it should look like that. Alright, I'm going to flour a clean surface here with a little more Vital wheat gluten. And we're going to turn out that seitan onto the floured surface. I'm just going to flour my hands really quick, and we're going to go ahead and knead that for 2 to 4 minutes or until it becomes really stretchy. So I'm going to give you guys a visual here. It should have a nice stretch just like that. Alright, now is the time to shape it. So if you're making steaks, you can tear off pieces and shape them however you'd like. I am making a loaf, so mine looks like that. And we're going to wrap this like a Tootsie Roll in tin foil. If you don't like using tin foil, you can probably just steam this without the tin foil. Just make sure you flip it more often and watch it more often during the steaming process. Alright, so there's my Tootsie Roll. And now I'm going to set up my steamer. Don't laugh at me, all I have is a tamale pot. Fill that with an appropriate amount of water, put the steamer basket in, and I'm going to heat that to high to get it going. And now we know it's hot because it steamed up the camera. And once that's going, go ahead and put in the seitan, turn down the heat to medium, cover it, and cook it for 2 hours, making sure you flip it at the 1 hour mark and just keep checking on it. Add more water if you need to your steamer. After that, when it's done, refrigerate it for 2 hours before using it. Right, moving on to our cheesesteaks. I have a large yellow onion and a large green pepper right here. I'm going to go ahead and slice those into strips like so. After that, I have half of my loaf that I've already shredded of my cooked seitan. I'm going to set that aside. And we're going to preheat our oven to broil at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. The oven's preheating. I'm going to cook the filling. I have a large skillet here, and I just added 2 tablespoons of oil. Heating this to medium-high, I'm going to add the onions and peppers. And we're just going to cook those and salt and pepper them to taste until they're halfway cooked, so not all the way translucent and not all the way crisp. That way we can cook the meat and they can brown the same amount. So I made a well here in the pan. I'm just going to add my seitan to that well like so. And then I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of onion powder and a teaspoon of garlic powder and just mix that in. We're going to saute this until the onions and peppers are translucent and the meat is browned. And there's a good visual for you there. Should look like that. Alright, now that our Philly filling is done, 3 hoagie rolls here. This recipe will make 6, but there's only 3 of us, so we wanted some leftovers. I'm going to go ahead and slice that like so. And we're going to put those on a baking sheet and broil those in our preheated oven for 1 to 2 minutes until lightly toasted. And they should look like that. And now I'm going to add about a half a cup of the cooked filling on each one with the pair of tongs like so. Doesn't that just look so good? I'm sorry. And then after that, we're gonna add 2 slices of any vegan cheese that you prefer. I'm using Chow cheese by Field Roast because I think it adds a nice flavor to it. And I'm gonna broil that for 1 to 2 minutes or until the cheese is melted. Once that's done, cool them, serve them, and enjoy. Alright you guys, that was beefless seitan and beefless Philly cheesesteaks. I hope you guys like this recipe and use it for your other beefless recipes continuing forward. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out vitallyveg.com for more recipes. I'll see you guys next time.